Good day, my friends. Let's learn something new today. Okay, let's have a look at the past simple. Righto. And like always, this presentation or lesson focuses on using the past simple tense for English language learners. We'll cover the rules from forming the past simple with both regular and irregular verbs. We'll also look at how to use time expressions to indicate past actions and practice applying the tense in context. And it's made by myself, Alfred Krobler.
Righto, let's have a look at it. What is a past simple tense? Let's look at an example. They watch TV every evening. That is present simple, right? Because they are sitting watching TV, and the way we've said it over here is they watch TV every evening, which would be in the present simple. Now, if we go and we say they watched TV yesterday evening, that is past simple, because watched is now past simple. Right, let's go and have a look at it. Right? Watched is past simple. So no matter if you're going to say I, we, you, they, she, he, it, the past simple of watch is watched.
Okay. What is a past simple? Let's go into a little bit more detail. Completed actions. The past simple tense is used to talk about actions that were completed in the past. These actions have a definite beginning and end. It tells us about things that happened at a specific point in the past. Right, at a specific time. Right, let's go and have a look at it. Past simple often indicates a specific time in the past, such as yesterday, last week, or in 1920 or whatever. It allows us to describe events that happened at a particular moment or within a period of time. Well, that's a whole lot said. Righto, the next section. Forming the past simple. Guys, this is so important. Really, to form your sentences, doesn't matter if it's present simple or whatever the sentence, the tense is, it's important to form the questions or the answers or the sentences properly. Now let's go and look at forming the past simple. Regular verbs. The most verbs we add ed to it to form the base from the create the past simple. Examples: work becomes worked, play becomes played, right? Visit becomes visited. Well, I brush my teeth every morning, so to change it into past simple, this morning I brushed my teeth. Right? Brush becomes brushed. John worked in a bank from 2000 to 2019. Yesterday it rained all morning. It stopped at lunchtime. Rain becomes rained. Stop becomes stopped. Please note the spelling of stop. Okay, stopped. Right, about the spelling over here. Try becomes tried. Please note the spelling. Study becomes studied. Copy becomes copied. Stopped becomes stopped. Plan becomes planned. We will go into the spelling of these words in much more detail at a later stage of the whole course. Okay, let's go and have a look at forming the past simple with irregular verbs. Some verbs have irregular past simple forms. They don't follow a standard pattern. Here are some of the important irregular verbs. Guys, this here is something, this whole table over here, I know it's a lot to learn, whatever the case might be, but yes, I'd advise you maybe to write it down and look it over every once in a while. Begin becomes bang, began, break, broke, bring, brought, build, built, buy, bought, catch, caught, come, came, do, did, drink, drank, eat, ate, fall, fell, find, found, fly, flew, forget, forgot. Righto guys, and that's how we can carry on. There's one important one I want to point out to you here, and that is read, read. Now they are spelt the same, yet the pronunciation changes. As you can see over here, I marked it with a star to point it out to you. It is pronounced as read. Alright, that is very important. Sell, sold, sit, sat, stand, stood, and that's how we can carry on. Guys, I'll advise you, like I said, to write these things down somewhere in your notebook or whatever, and just go over them every once in a while. Then it'll become so much easier for you to speak or to make sentences in the past simple. Righto, and also, I usually get up early, but this morning I got up at 9 o'clock. We did a lot of work yesterday. John came into the room, took off his hat, and sat down. Now, if you don't use the past simple correctly here, the sentence will not be understandable to most people. Okay, let's go and have a look at when to use the past simple. Firstly, like yesterday, used to refer to an action that happened the day before. We can say last night, last week, last month, last year, indicates an action completed within a specific past period. Like 2 days ago specifies a time that is couple of days in the past. 2 days, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, right? We are coupling it to a certain amount of time or days in the past. In 2020, in other words, now we are referring to in a year, shows an action completed within a particular year. Like I passed my exams in 2021 or something like that, right? And when I was young, used to describe events that happened in the past when the speaker was younger. You can say when I was young, when I was a kid, something like that, right? You're referring to when you were much, much younger than what you are currently. Righto, time to look at some, oops, what's going on over here? Okay, let's look at it. Some real life examples, guys. Yes, right, that's always nice to have. Let's look at, I worked late yesterday. Yes, referring to time, yesterday, the day before. She went to the store this morning. That's not so long ago. He got up early. Righto. Irregular verb. Let's look at some practice in irregular verbs. Go. What is the past simple of go? Guys, maybe you should write this down in your notebook and we'll check your answers. Righto. So what you're going to do is, what is the past simple of go? You write the answer down below it. Get. What is the past simple of get? Write the answer below it. See. What is the past simple of see? Write the answer down there. And eat, the same thing. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Like always, pause the video, answer the questions, and when you are done, we will go over and check the answers.
Hey, you must pause the video.
Okay, I assume that you did pause the video and that you have answered it all complete. Let's go and have a look at checking the answers. Check your answers, guys. What is the past simple of go? I wonder what could it be. Went. Righto. The next one, past simple of get, is got. The past simple of see is saw. If you looked at the tables I gave you previously, you will see all these answers to all these questions, right? And the past simple of eat is ate. Righto, guys, with that said, it takes a lot of practice to get this right. But anyhow, if you keep practicing, I'm quite sure you will get it correct. Right, guys, here's going to be a basic practice. Complete the sentences, right? I go, what would it be, to the cinema last night. She eat breakfast this morning. He get a new job last week, etc. Right, guys? Work through them all, like I say always. Preferably do it in your notebook. Write them all down in your notebook. Answer them correctly. And once you are completed watching them, again, guys, pause the video, answer them all in your notebook, and when you are done, we can watch the video, continue watching the video to compare your answers.
Hey, you must pause the video.
Right, guys, I assume that you have completed all your sentences, and let's go and have a look at the answers, right? As we say, check your answers, guys. It's important to make sure you've got it correctly. The first one, go, changes to went. I went to the cinema last night. Eat, or change to ate. She ate breakfast this morning. Get goes to got. He got a new job last week. Brush changes to brushed his teeth this morning. See changes to saw. I saw her last night. Right, guys, I hope you had it all correct. If you did, give yourself a pat on the head or the pat on the shoulder or whatever the case might be, a smack on the cheek, as you are then mastering using the past simple. Right, guys, we have completed one, very simple one. Now, here we're going to read about John's journey to London. And of course, you must put the verbs in the correct form. Let's have a look at it. Right, here's coming in. Last Tuesday, John fly from Paris to London. You must put the verb in the correct form, right? He, whatever, at 6 o'clock in the morning and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I know this one here is going to be a lot more difficult than the previous, and I really hope that you will pause the video over here, right? Answer them all, and do it in a notebook or whatever the case might be so you can compare the answers, and let's see how many you can get correct. This will determine how well you have, or how much information you have gained, or how much you've learnt from this lesson over here.
Hey, you must pause the video.
Okay, guys, I assume that you have paused the video and you have answered all the questions. I suppose this one took you longer than a couple of minutes, put it this way. Let's go and have a look at it. Last Tuesday, John, right, if you go and look at the list that I gave you, the copy, check the answers. If you go and look at that list that I gave you previously in the lesson, you'll find all the answers to these over here. So last week, John flew from Paris to London. He got up at 6 o'clock in the morning and had a cup of coffee. At 6:30, he left home and drove to the airport. When he got there, he parked the car and walked to the airport building and checked in. That is, when you're checking into your flight, you bring your ticket or whatever at the airport and you show them and you check in, so they know you are at the airport waiting for the flight. Then he had breakfast at a cafe and waited for his flight. The plane departed on time and arrived in London 1 hour later. Finally, he took a taxi to his hotel. Now, guys, if you had all of these here correct, well, then you have learned a lot from this lesson, that is for sure. And I congratulate you. You really deserve to go and buy yourself a nice cup of coffee or whatever the case might be you like, a pastry or whatever you like, and give yourself a treat, because then you've really achieved a lot. Because most people will struggle to get this correct the first time. Second or third time, yes, maybe, but first time, you really need to be a boffin. Righto, guys, great. Let's have a look at the key takeaways from the lesson that you have gained from doing this lesson. The first one, past simple forms, right? You have learned how to work with the past simple forms with regular and irregular verbs. 2 is, like I've just said, regular verbs, ed. We add ed to the past simple word, like work becomes worked. And also, of course, the irregular verbs. Yeah, they say learn these verbs by heart. Guys, that's the only way you can do it. There's no other way that you can do this except learning it by heart. I've said that so many times, like all my little tables I've given you. Those are things you have to learn by heart. Honestly, guys, it's the only way that you'll master it. And of course, the last one is practice and review. Practice using the past simple in various contexts. Guys, if you work through this lesson properly and you did all your exercises I gave you over here properly, and you keep redoing it until you can do it properly and get 100% in all your questions that you have to answer, I guarantee you that soon you will become better, as long as you keep practicing. It's pointless trying to learn a language and you don't go out and practice it. There's no point in then even learning a second language then. But if you learn a language, you must practice it. That's the only way, guys. With that said, don't forget to buy me a cup of coffee. I'm thirsty.